Hey guys, so it's WISTM here, and this is just, my first video on YouTube, so just gonna kind of let you guys know what kind of stuff is gonna be on here. I'm gonna just kind of put any kind of random and funny, I guess, um, kind of videos and just anything you suggest in the comments, which you can do below. Um, So there's, we can do childhood memories or like what's going on now in my life. Just kind of weird and crazy and random stuff like that. I might, maybe, possibly, maybe make a Facebook page. I'm not really sure though. I don't really know. So yeah, I thought today, because it is the first video, or tonight actually, as it is kind of dark outside, that we could start with something more fun and exciting-ish, and that's my childhood. Now, compared to other people, they're all like, oh, I remember, riding in this wagon down the street, and I went down a really big hill, or like, I almost died when I ran into the road, and I ate dirt, and picked up ants, and they ran into my sleeve, and I got stung by a bee on my nose, and this and that, and I just kind of always felt my childhood isn't exciting at all. Like, I mean, at least not to me, compared to other people, that I've heard childhood stories from. My childhood is kind of bleak, as one could say. But I've got some interesting stories, interesting-ish. I don't remember a lot of them, but, childhood. I am only 14, so that can't be too long ago when my childhood ended. Now I'm in teenhood, I guess you could call it. But yeah, another thing, before I start any of these stories, 9 times out of 10, unless I totally forget, I'm gonna disguise a lot of these names of people just to save, like, embarrassment or to hide their identities. But yeah, the kissing hand. In K4, picture little, me, 4-year-old, 5-year-old me in K4, I don't really remember what was going on. I just remember it was recess, and we were playing this marriage game, and one way or another, these girls had me trapped in the corner. There were 3 girls, and they were all like, which one of us would you want to marry? Which one? Which one? And I don't know why I did this, or what was running through my little 4-year-old brain, but before we're like 6, our brain is in a whole nother world. But I just grabbed this one girl, let's call her Agnella. Yeah, I'm sorry, that was kind of rude. Agnella. We're gonna call her Agnella. I grabbed her hand, like, by her wrist and kissed her, like, right here. And I don't really remember why I did it. I didn't even have, a crush on this girl. I don't think I really had a crush on anyone in K4. Except maybe this other girl, who we'll call Lucy. But yeah, I don't know why I did that. I don't know why. I don't remember what happened afterward. I just remember kind of the chaperone saying something along the lines of, don't do it again, or, I don't even remember. Now this is one of the more entertaining stories that I've got. It's my lost mom is gone. And I was in K5, and it was the very end of the day, and I do have 2 older sisters, and they were in the older grades, like 3rd and 6th grade or something like that, when I was in K5. And so I was waiting, I was out first because I was in K5, and, they always get out early. So I was waiting, and my mom was there, and I just remember my mom was standing, I remember how I was standing. I had my backpack on, I was holding the straps like this, and it was sunny outside, so I was squinting and looking this way and looking out at the street. And, the crowd of people that were over here, my mom would have been, like, back here. This other person's mom would have been here. If you can see my hand, my mom would have been back here, here. And then this other mom would have been a little, next to her. And I don't know why, but I just felt the urge to hug my mom and say, Mommy. So I hugged, my arms only went up to, like, their thigh then. So I was just like, Mommy, and I look up, and it isn't my mom. And she's like, I'm not your mommy. And so I just moved on to the next mom, and I did the same thing. I don't really remember what she said. I just remember looking then, and my mom was out way in the parking lot talking to this, one of the, like, lunch recess chaperone guys, and they were just talking. I was like, oh my gosh, she just left me in the parking lot, like, all by myself with these random mothers just there. I was like, oh my god, Mom. And of course, she doesn't remember this. She thinks I'm lying. She doesn't even have any recollection of this happening, so that kind of floops the boop. And, so yeah, that's that story. In first grade, now, we learned first grade had to be my favorite year. I loved my teacher. Mrs. J was her name. You know, I loved the class mostly, except for this one kid. Yeah. Well, mostly everyone, I should say. There were a couple that I didn't really favor, but we learned about the rainforest, and I'm all about animals. I, like, love animals with a passion, and so we were learning about this rainforest, and I was like, oh, there was a smart aleck about animals in our class, and his name was Joseph, we'll call him, and I just remember we took, like, a little test on the rainforest, and, she called us to the carpet, and I was, she said only one person got all the questions right on the rainforest test, and I was literally sitting pretzel-legged like this. I remember thinking inside my brain, I'm like, well, it's gonna be Dylan. And she said, and that was Steven. And I was like, what? I sat up and smiled, and everyone was clapping. I felt so appreciated. Only, for 2 years later to learn multiplication, and we had these dumb ice cream scoops that we had to put up every time that, so there was a ice cream scoop with a 0 on it, and a 1 and a 2 or 3 all the way up to 12, and those are the multiples that we learned, or not really multiples, but multiplication. It was, 12 times 0, 12 times 1, 2, 3, it was the same for 0, of course, through 12, and we had to put these dumb ice cream scoops up, and I never passed the 3 multiplication test. I got 1 wrong, and this one kid, I remember seeing him crumple his paper up and throwing it away. So I'm like, I'm gonna be cool and crumple up my paper and throw it away. But I thought I passed it. And I, called for the 4 test. So I never got a 3 ice cream scoop. I only put the 1 and 2 up and 0. And I just thought, I had no idea what had happened until I passed, like, the 7. And I just remember one day before lunch, the teacher said, Steven, why aren't you putting your ice cream scoops up? And I don't know what happened, and it went on for like 3 weeks. And eventually she just gave me more ice cream scoops and said, I don't know what happened. You're not saying anything. And because I honestly had no idea. I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea that I didn't pass the 3 test. I had no idea that any of this bad stuff was happening. So, I'm gonna leave with that. Like the video, leave a comment, and please subscribe. But before we go, I'm going to introduce you to Art. He's our little friend. He's just going to be in the background, just kind of in different poses. Today he's waving hello for our first video. That kind of rhymes. Hello, video. I guess, kind of, sort of. I don't know. Do you think it rhymes? That could be a question. Do you think it rhymes? Does video and hello rhyme? I can't believe I just did that. I'm sorry, guys. But, hey, anyway, just like the video if you liked the video. Comment, any suggestions, any little side things, if you had any weird childhood memories, I guess, or just normal childhood memories, or any childhood memories, really. If, you just want to put them out there, whatever. I don't really care. So, I'm going to leave now. So, that's what I'm going to do. See you next video, guys. Bye.